There are several allegations of human rights abuses inside Israeli detention centers. A CNN investigation in May exposed abuses at the Sdei Teiman detention camp, including beatings. Israeli Channel 12 broadcast footage appearing to show a detainee being severely sexually assaulted by soldiers. 5 were arrested and are now under house arrest. The United Nations has also reported Palestinian detainees being tortured, mistreated and sexually abused, with at least 53 people dying in Israeli detention. And the latest, a major report from the Israeli human rights group Btselem, has collected testimony from dozens of Palestinian former detainees alleging abuse, starvation and more. The IDF has repeatedly rejected allegations of systematic abuse. Yuli Nowak is the executive director of Btselem, and she's joining me now from Tel Aviv. Yuli Nowak, welcome to the program. Your report entitled Welcome to Hell makes very, very shocking and disturbing reading. And of course, after October 7th, where 1,200 Israelis, including civilians, were brutally massacred. The Association of Civil Rights in Israel has accused the government of, quote, consciously defying international law. Can you tell us the major findings of your report?
Yeah, so thank you for having me. The report we published last week contains testimonies, or based on testimonies, of 55 people, Palestinians, who got released from Israeli jails, different detention centers, 16 different detention centers throughout the last months. And they told us on the condition, as he said, in these detention centers since October 7th. What we heard again and again, repeating stories and description of ongoing daily abuse, physical and mental. We heard about sleep deprivation, about starvation of people, about sexual assault, about inhumane sanitary conditions that people are held in. And those things and many more became what we figured out from all these testimonies became the norm in Israeli prison system.
Can I ask you how you got these testimonies? What was the methodology?
Yes, of course. So Btselem is an Israeli human rights organization, but our staff are combined from Jews and Palestinians from all over the region between the Jordan River and the Mediterranean Sea. Large part of our staff are field researchers. They are Palestinians, and they connected those people who were brave enough to come and give their testimonies. We're talking about people from Gaza, the Gaza Strip, from the West Bank, including East Jerusalem, and some Israeli citizens. And the astonishing thing about it is that, again, different people who don't know each other, some of them young, some of them old, who got arrested in completely different circumstances, and the vast majority of them got released without any charges, right? So they were held for a week, 2 weeks, a month, 6 months, whatever, and then got released. And all of them repeated the same experience again and again. So these practices and the similarities that we heard from the various testifiers show us that we're talking about pattern, about a policy, and not about specific occasions. And in that sense, you know, you mentioned Sdei Teiman, and what we heard, or what we know now, is that Sdei Teiman is actually just the tip of the iceberg, as much as it concerned the treatment of Israel, of its Palestinian detainees.
I'm going to get to Sdei Teiman in a moment because CNN did an investigation there, but first I want to bring some of the testimonies that you've received and that has been made accessible to us. This, as you said, you spoke to several dozen people. This one now is Sari Huria, who is an Israeli Arab lawyer from Haifa. And here's what he told you about what he saw while himself, I believe, in detention.
جابوا على الزنزانة اللي حد المحاذي إلي الشخص اللي اسمه مرعي عبد الرحمن، يمكن إذا مش غلطان. وطبعا هو كل وقت يقول يما موجوع من شان الله جيبوا لي دكتور، ولا حدا لا حياة لمن تنادي. ضل مرعي يصيح لحد وجه الصبح فسكت. كل الليل ما نمتش أنا، لا أنا ولا نيني. وجه الصبح كانوا جايين يعملوا العدية. نادى قال له مرعي في تعرف لازم نوقف احنا. قال له مرعي وقف ما وقفش. مرعي وقفش. شفت انا الشاب اللي كان غاد اتصل في الكتسين الضابط. ايش الضابط يركض فتحوا الباب. انا سامعهم يعني انا شايفهم وسامعهم فاتوا يخبطوا في اجريهم يعني يخبطوا شلاليط باجريه. سامع خبط في اجريه يقول له قوم يا حيوان قوم يا كلب. فهموا انه هو مش قايم مش راح يقوم.
How many people do you believe died in custody as Huria is reporting on that particular case?
We actually don't know. What we know about is that we're talking about more than 60 people in the course of the last 10 months. But either in custody or while they were in custody, either in jail or while they were transported to jail. So we actually don't know the actual number. I have to say that 60 is already, something that is hard to grasp. Yeah. But again, the situation and, one other thing that we heard again and again is the lack of medical treatment, right? So people not only being beaten up daily and going on and living in this unbelievable inhumane sanitary conditions, they are also not getting any or almost any medical treatment, only in the extreme cases, and even that, as we heard, not always happening.
And Yuli, we also have another testimony, and this is a woman. I mean, people may be, surprised that women are also being rounded up. She, too, is a Palestinian citizen of Israel. She studies at an Israeli university, and she was taken to the Hasharon prison. And in the testimony that we're going to play, she describes a punishment after they asked for sanitary pads while several women had their periods. Here's what she said.
الصبح فتحوا الباب متعصبينات وصرت تزعق مين الصبية اللي كانت تخبط على الباب امبارح بدها فوط صحية. بس اجى السجان اللي هو كان مناوب في هاي الليلة واشر عصبية حكى هاي هي ابتدوا يومهن في هاي الأسيرة ضربوها شدوا لها شعرها وكمان حطوا لها ملابسها الداخلية.
So how were the women treated in general? And have you in the past seen this kind of behavior before?
So maybe I'll start with that. We are all, the people who worked on this report, it's the whole organization, we are all very experienced and have a background in investigation and doing exactly that work. And we were all, to be sincere, shocked when we figure out that what we are seeing is, again, this policy and the similarities and the fact that we're talking about something organized and systematically. And in that sense, something changed after October 7th. And, the Israeli prison system was never, unlike what our government tried to portray it, was never a kindergarten or a summer camp for Palestinians. Just if it was also always a tool for oppression against the Palestinian people. Just if you think about it, the numbers are astonishing. We know of more than 800,000 Palestinians from the territories from the West Bank and Gaza that were held in Israeli prisons since '67. It's almost a fifth of the whole population of that area. So think about how it infects the population and the community as a whole. But no doubt things have changed dramatically since October 7th. And in a way, it is not surprising. It is devastating to see, but it is not surprising when you hear the officials responsible on the prisons and their stand and their agenda, the racist and violent agenda in regard to Palestinians everywhere, but especially in jails.